Well, good evening, my friends, and once again, thank you for taking this opportunity to join me. Today is Sunday, November the 6th, 2016, and again, to all of my subscribers, and especially to those of you who may be seeing this again for the first time, I do welcome each and every one of you and do hope that, many of you again are having a blessed week in this far, given that we are no more than just 2 days away from America electing a leader who will lead the free world again, saints. And again, I'm not here to endorse any of the candidates, but I do urge each and every one of you again before you go to the polls this Tuesday that you are to ask the Lord to give you wisdom in regards to who it is you want to vote for, and that He will give you some clarification on this, and you would take the time yourself, to do some some fact checking, that your decision in regards to who you want to vote for is a wise one again, because we know that with so much happening, just 2 days ahead of the election, we learned that it was just about 2 days ago that the FBI put out an urgent warning of some sort of an Al Qaeda like terrorist attack in New York City on the eve of the elections again. And whether or not there will be some sort of an attack on the eve of the elections, we hope and pray again that nothing does happen. But with so much looming in the air of some sort of a possible anti-government, uprising by the militia, if Hillary is elected, or some sort of, riots everywhere throughout major cities, should Trump get elected, it leaves many to wonder, it even leaves some to, really worry what, this Tuesday is going to bring. But again, saints, I urge, each and every one of you again, to, just continue to seek the Lord and, be of good courage. And, most importantly, don't worry, because again, we know that the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, as his word plainly says in the book of 2 Timothy 1 verses 7, which says, for the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and self-discipline, okay? We are to remain, self-controlled, no matter how difficult the situation may seem, for many of us, especially for those of you who may be worried what this Tuesday may bring again. I urge you all to be of good courage and, don't worry what the day may bring again, because, we cannot worry, saints, because we know that, fear is of, the enemy. And, again, the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear. And, it reminds me so much of what Jesus plainly went on to say in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 27, which, in which he went on to say here, which of you by worrying can add 1 cubit to his stature? Again, we cannot worry, saints. I mean, we cannot worry what the day will bring. We cannot worry what, we will wear or what we will eat, anything of that nature. We cannot even worry what the day will bring, or tomorrow for that matter will bring, because we know that, this is of the enemy, and we cannot give heed to him, because, many of you may have heard the old saying before, if we give Satan a foot, he will take a yard on you. And you want to be able to have on the full armor of God in these last days by staying in the word of the Lord each and every day, not just by reading it, but by, taking time to meditate on it. As his word plainly says, thy word, have I hid in thine heart that I might not sin against thee. We need his word to be able to take our stand against anything the enemy may try to throw our way. The same way Jesus did, when he was led into the desert for, 40 days and 40 nights, after being baptized in the Jordan by John the Baptist. What did he say? Every time, Satan tempted him, behold, it is written. He referred to what was written in the word of the Lord. And, we have to, just continue to look to the word of the Lord, and continue to, trust in him, trust in him in these last days, and, plant a seed into our hearts that we may bear much fruit in these last days, that, yes, again, we can be able to take our stand against the enemy when he comes rushing in, trying to, hinder us in our walk with Christ in these last days. But again, what does his word say in regards to, worrying about, tomorrow? Where Jesus went on to say here in Matthew 6, verse 34, therefore do not worry about tomorrow. For tomorrow will worry about its own things. For sufficient for the day is its own trouble. For we know, saints, again, that there's enough trouble in the day as it is. And with so much talk looming in the air of, some kind of an uprising should Hillary get elected, or, talks of, riots everywhere if Trump is elected, or, the possibility of some sort of an Al-Qaeda like terrorist attack in New York City. We cannot live in fear, because, again, when we live in fear, the enemy wins, saints. And, we have to be strong. We have to be overcomers. And, what does his word plainly say in, the book of Romans, I believe it is, in chapter 8. For those of you who just bear with me here, we're going to turn to Romans chapter 8 here in 1 second, where it goes on to say in verses 37, "Yet in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." Philippians 4:13 plainly says that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. No matter what the enemy may try to throw our way, saints, we are made to be conquerors. We are made to be overcomers, even in the midst of a trial. No matter how dark, the trial may seem, saints, just know that the Lord is with you. And again, do not live in fear, nor worry about, what the day may bring, because, again, fear is of the enemy. And, even though we know that perilous times are coming, again, I urge you all to, seek the Lord in these last days for wisdom and understanding, as his word plainly says in the book of James 1:5, which says that if any one of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it shall be given unto him. He wants you to, grow in him in these last days. He wants you to be able to bear much fruit. But how do you do that, saints? You must remain in his word each and every day. And you have to ask him to, lead you and guide you, help you to have understanding of his word, that you can grow in him. But, the only way you can do that, saints, is you have to stay in his word each and every day. And with so much happening, again, prior to this Tuesday, for those of you who have not gone out, to vote yet, again, I urge you, to seek the Lord, ask him to give you, to give you wisdom in regards to this, again, because, with so much uncertainty, we cannot worry about, what is to come, within the next 2 days, because, again, as I've said, fear is of the enemy, and we cannot live in fear in these last days. But, with so much talk of, talks of violence, or, even talk of, Obama possibly canceling, the election, or suspending it in, some way that he will get, a third term, or he was suspended to the point until, he's able to, find somebody who will, be able to, or he can appoint to office until then, we know that there's so much uncertainty. And, should anything happen, we know that Obama can very easily use it to his advantage, to declare martial law. And with so much talk in the air that, Obama, may end up declaring martial law, before the elections, we don't know. We honestly don't know. But, there's still plenty of time. And even come, Tuesday, there's no guarantees, he will or he won't. But, with that being said, let's continue to, seek the Lord and stay in his word, trusting in him. And if we happen to have any breaking news, I will do my very best to bring that to you, of course. And to those of you who are seeing this again for the, first time, again, do feel free to subscribe, and I will be talking to you all soon. God bless.